All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews. We're back with more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and we're doing Season 1, Episode 19. It's called The Only Light in the Darkness. So, full spoilers if you have not seen this episode. Okay, this episode's kind of a lot. And, while there is a lot in here jam-packed with story, I kind of feel like this should have been split up into 2 episodes, because I feel like because of the one storyline that we have in here where Skye and Ward have to have their moment, means you have to get rid of everybody else if you want to have it the way you want it. And so because of last episode when they let the people out of the fridge, they have a reason for people to not be there. And then they deal with May. And so everybody just kind of goes their separate ways so they could have this moment. And I feel like if you're going to do that, don't try to do like 2 episodes in 1 episode. And that's what I feel like they did here, as they jammed the Amy Acker story in here, when that really should have, the importance of that story really should have gotten its own whole episode. And I think that if they had done kind of a POV kind of situation where 1 episode it's just this, and you hear things about what is going on in the concurrent, the episode running concurrently that we haven't seen, like, so while Skye and Ward are doing their thing, and Agent Koenig are doing their thing, and maybe have them kind of interacting early before everybody splits. So you could have like the May thing go down in this episode, and then the other episode you could have it be from the point of view of like Coulson, Fitz, Simmons, and then you could do that. Coulson, Fitz, and the Blackout character and Triplet, and Amy Acker's character, the cellist, that they've talked about. She's the mysterious cellist. And they could have given Coulson's relationship with this woman more, time. They could have given some more character to Coulson if they had just done it like that, instead of jamming it in here. And also, if you're going to get Amy Acker, who, is a veteran of the Buffyverse, or the Whedonverse, I should say. She's been in multiple things of his. You really need to give her something special. And this was a chance to give her something special, but you did it in an episode so jam-packed with stuff that it just kind of feels out of place. And to be honest with you, kind of annoying, because there's more interesting things going on. And since you don't get a chance to develop that story, it's just kind of ends up being disappointing in a way. So even though you have these great big moments, it's just that storyline really should have been somewhere else. And like I said, if they had done that as a 2-part episode and made the season one fucking episode longer, who gives a shit? I know production and everything, but maybe, hey, get rid of that whole Sif episode. That would have saved you a whole lot of money. But a lot of money. But what we have here is there's still good stuff in here. I love the whole orientation thing. I love that this gives Patton Oswalt a chance to shine against all these people that have been, all the main cast, and get to freak Ward out, who will go to any lengths to hide what he, the truth from everybody, and try to beat this lie detector that supposedly even, Romanov couldn't break. And there's lots of references to other things in the MCU in this episode. There's Project Insight. There's Alexander Pierce. There's, oh man. Oh, we could get, gosh, there's something else, and I'll probably remember it while I'm talking. But they bring up a few different things going on in this episode, from going on all over the MCU. And everybody passes with fine colors, Ward's desperately trying to hide what he's doing. But then you get this story with Pierce that's in the beginning, or not Pierce, with the character that in the comics is called Blackout, Marcus Daniels. So, you get this beginning where this guy you don't know really what he can do. He can touch people and kill you. He can turn off your car. He can turn off lights. It's all about energy. And I did a little background to see if he wasn't a character in the comics. And boy, oh boy, is he a weird looking character in the comics. His costume is fucking stupid. He's got like a lightning bolt on his chest, so Shazam, whatever, it's been done, and like the Flash, but he's got another lightning bolt like on his face, like Electro, like old time Electro. Except even Electro's old time costume looked cooler than this. It's just like it's like across his face, like some sort of like I don't know, like 80s. When you look at some of these like arty pictures from the 80s of people with makeup and like really like Blade Runner look, I don't know. He's a really stupid looking character, but he is a real character, and he like what Coulson says about him is pretty accurate to what they're doing here. And again, they pick a character that's pretty obscure. I'd never heard of him before. He came out in like 1978, and they're trying to get him to be the one that they're going after in this. And again, it should have just been its own thing. And we find out that the person that Daniels is after, or is trying to find, is Amy Acker's cellist, that just so happens to be the cellist that Coulson was in love with before. And so he doesn't want to see her. He wants to be there to help. He doesn't pretend to be the CIA, but she's not that stupid. And I like that she's not stupid. But again, it just feels like this, if you're not going to give the time to this storyline, it's kind of hard to even talk about in a positive way, because it's just not, it's the only part of the episode that like everything's done well. It just doesn't belong here. So I might as well just finish that part of the story. So, Coulson doesn't say anything about himself. He stays in the shadows. And they set up a trap where they use this thing kind of designed by Bruce Banner. So there's another reference to the higher or MCU. And it's like supposed to like kind of negate his powers. And they eventually, they stop him, and that's all really it. I mean, we get some more, there's conversations between Simmons and Amy Acker's character that just describes more about Phil Coulson's background, where he's not really there. I mean, he can hear what she's saying, but it's, again, if you did this differently, you could have had him there or whatever, or just expanded on it so much more. But they save her in the end, and he runs up to her before she regains consciousness fully and says, you're safe and all that stuff. And it reminded me of an X-File from season 1, I think, again. Yeah, called, where it just takes place with a cellist, I believe, on stage, and an empty theater, and Mulder going in there to stop a killer. I don't know. It's the first thing I thought of. What was that? Young at Heart. The episode was called Young at Heart. One of the million X-Files references I've made on my channel. Not millions. But, so, yeah. And then she just goes back to her life, and they all go back to, they're headed back to Skye and Ward. In the meantime, Coulson had pissed May off and told her to get the fuck out of there. Or was it? She was leaving. She decided to leave or something, and that he could never trust her. And she tells Ward this on her way out. So we've lost May temporarily because story, drama, all that stuff. Doesn't really make sense to me, but whatever. They're shaking things up. They're trying to make things seem, more, we're all alone. We don't know who to trust, even though of course May is going to still be working for the team. As we find out at the very end of this episode, that she appears to be, she gets her mom to come pick her up in Ontario. Kind of a journey, I would think, that May had to make. But whatever. Her mom is, she's not a very nice person. But I guess if you drove all that way, you would want to thank you. But this is where May appears to be trying to track down Maria Hill. So I guess we'll be getting some Colby Smulders here probably pretty soon. And no, I have not forgotten the story that I should be talking about, and that's just Ward and Skye. And for anybody that's going to watch my last video and jump down my throat about what I said about Skye being over-emotional about Ward, that they were ramping up their attraction, their love story, they bring it up here, and I'm glad they did. I'm glad that they were able to rein it in, and they give it to Skye, who Ward is already like, he's so fucking weird now. Like his acting is great, but you can already tell that the character's starting to like, I don't know. His ability at subterfuge to hide everything that he really was, and when you finally hear him talk the way he is, the way he's become, or the way he was made, and how he can turn it on and off. It's really impressive, but it means that all that was a lie. And that is a testament to the believability of the character. And they really make you care. And I am mourning Ward already, because this is like the big, like I've said before, that the characters in this never really fully recover from what happens here in season 1. I don't think they ever do. And this is like, showing how. Like, Ward's betrayal is such an extended amount of reach emotionally for all of our characters in this, that it's just, as somebody else pointed this out, and I want to thank you for commenting about this, about Ward's whole arc. And it really is such an interesting arc that he goes through, but I still have to say that I don't enjoy watching him, like, when he starts being like whiny and needy, and then pulling on her and being like asking those questions that I don't feel the character would ask, or be so super superstitious, like, yeah, I want to know the truth, and what are you doing, and where are you going, and blah, blah, blah. He should be more casual about it, you know what I mean? But he's already starting to act like that jumpy, and I don't feel like Ward would ever be jumpy. So, but that's just me. But we unfortunately lose him, because, of course we do. We're not done with Patton Oswalt, though. It's a shame that we lost this character, but we will be getting more Patton Oswalt soon to come in the future. But Sky's realization, Sky finding him, was like probably my favorite part of this episode, because her reaction was so great. That whole no, like, just you could make it the way I'm saying it. I can't do it as good as she did without training or something. But her reaction was priceless, and not in like, that was that was awesome. No, it's heartbreaking, because they just kissed. They just did this thing, which I don't agree with the kiss. I think that was too far, especially after they talk about how you're jumping the gun, man. We just met. We just started talking about this, and in love, let's back up. Like, there's bigger things going on. But that's not him. You can already tell that once she kind of started to give in to that side of it, to the romantic side of it, he just was all, and I don't know. I don't like that choice that they've made with him being that obsessive quickly. But whatever. It's a small detail, and I don't mind it. And if you love it, great. But then them taking off to go find something, and her still not knowing, nobody knows. Ward is still able to hide everything really well, and I can't wait to see what happens next, because, man, I really thought I remembered all these episodes. I really, really did, and I just don't. I don't remember them, and it's kind of nice almost watching them brand new a second time. Just kind of knowing as the episode goes on, like the big bullet points where I go, oh, but there's a lot of stuff in here that I didn't remember, and most of it was that whole Amy Acker plot, because it's so forgettable. When all the big stuff is going on around it, and they're trying to make this other story more as important. I mean, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So anyway, that's it for this episode. If you liked it, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Otherwise, this is Robert Smirking Out Review saying we will be back with more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. At some point here in the near future. Right now, what's coming up next will be Ant-Man. And then we've got Walking Dead tonight, and then also American Gods Season 2 tonight as well. So busy. So this is Robert Smirking on Review saying gotta hit it, gotta get more stuff rolling, and we will see you next time.